Okay, kids, are you ready? We're ready. Sparky's ready. Now let's take off on an adventure.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Here, and you thought they were ice ants.
Well, when you're flying up high, they look like ants.
Welcome to North Castle. We haven't had visitors since we've been covered in snow and ice.
Sorry if you came to see the king. He is not here. He is on a quest to find the great armor. Instead, we have our queen, Sarah.
Oh my! We haven't introduced ourselves. I am Queen Sarah, and this is my trusty companion, Sparky. Sparky is pretty cool. He doesn't breathe fire. He breathes ice.
I am an Arctic dragon.
Sparky is allergic to dust and sneezes a lot. That's why we have so much ice and snow. This is a blizzard when he sneezes. I try to help Sparky, but sometimes it just happens. And when it does, we all freeze. What I mean is we all become like ice statues. Sparky, do you want to show our new friends?
Achoo!
Next time he sneezes, we all freeze. Hey, may I introduce you to my royal musicians? Hello, Laurel.
Hello.
Can we sing a few songs
We're
today?
going to sing a song together. This is Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. I sing a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. So live it up, and let it go. So live it up, and let it go. Oh yeah, live it up and let it go. Let it overflow with love. Grace had taught my heart to feel.
North Castle. They're on a quest to find great armor. But Sparky and I have realized the armor isn't really armor at all. I have discovered 5 riddles which could help us find the great armor, but they're written in a language I don't understand.
Riddles? I thought you said pickles. I wondered why you were so excited about pickles. Let me see the first riddle. Hey, I know this language. It is dragon language. This riddle says, in order to find the belt of truth, you must study the fiery 1 plus 2. So what is 1 plus 2?
Fiery 3? I do recall a story about 3 men who went into a fire. The royal players must know the answer. Let's check out the video to see.
The book of Daniel, chapter 3, tells us a story about 3 men God loved with very strange names: Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men lived in exile in Babylon and worked for a ruler named Nebuchadnezzar. Not a ruler like an actual king. He was not very nice. Anyway, he made a statue. It was not made out of clay, it was a statue. Closer, but it was made of gold. Close enough. So King Nebuchadnezzar made a golden statue and said that whenever anyone heard the sound of music, he had to bow down to the statue. Yes, well, I suppose it could have happened that way. Nebuchadnezzar thought everything was going along great until he was told about 3 men who would not bow down to his statue. King Nebuchadnezzar was not happy. The king was not happy? The king was really mad. Thank you. Much better. King Nebuchadnezzar called Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to his palace. When they got there, King Nebuchadnezzar gave them one more chance to bow down to the statue, or he would put them in his big oven. The 3 men tell King Nebuchadnezzar the truth. We will never serve your God or bow down to your statue. If you throw us in your big oven, God will be able to save us. But even if God does not, we will still not bow down to your statue. The king got really mad and ordered the furnace to be heated up really hot. The big oven was so hot. It was hotter than that. Let me help you with this. It was 7 times hotter than its normal heat. I mean, it's hotter than Florida in July wearing your winter coat. King Nebuchadnezzar thought that that was the end of the 3 men. But as he looked in the oven, he saw not 3, but 4 men. He thought he may need a new pair of glasses, so he asked someone, "Didn't I throw 3 men in there? Then why do I see 4 men and one that looks like a god?" King Nebuchadnezzar called for them to come out of the oven. When they came out, the king noticed that not a hair or any part of their clothing was burned. They didn't even smell like smoke. King Nebuchadnezzar declared, "May the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego be praised. He sent his messenger to rescue his servants who trusted him. They ignored my order because they wouldn't serve or worship any god but their God. I now issue a decree to every people, nation, and language. Whoever speaks disrespectfully about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego's God will be in big trouble, because there is no other God who can rescue like this." Then, instead of making them a part of the barbecue, King Nebuchadnezzar promoted all of them and gave them better jobs in his kingdom. And this is just one great story from the King's Book.
Oh, that's it! Let's go find the Belt of Truth.
We can't leave the castle, remember? Maybe these kids can be our travelers. Before they go, let's share our banner verse.
Our banner verse is Ephesians 6:10. Be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his power. Let's say it together. Be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his power. On this quest, you will need the castle call out. First, you say, armor up.
Armor up
Then, let's say, with truth.
with truth.
Let's do it together this time. Armor up
Armor up
with truth.
with truth.
Let's go find that belt of truth.
Please use this list of materials. For Session 1, Experiment, Invisible Fire Extinguisher. You made it to the science part of your adventure today. I have some knights in training with me to do our experiment. Today we learned about a story out of Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They were thrown into the fiery furnace, and it was hot. We're not going to go into a fire today, but we're going to put out a fire in a way maybe that's different than you've seen before. What are some ways that we put out fires?
Water, fire detergent,
Not a detergent, a fire
extinguisher,
extinguisher.
or blowing on it.
Yeah, like if it's your birthday, you would just blow out the candles. Well, today you saw that one of your materials is a candle, and we have a candle here. We're going to get set up. The first thing that we do is we need to put our candle in the glass bowl. I'll have Nora hold up some modeling clay. If you didn't have modeling clay at home, you could just use Play-Doh. That might work too. So you're going to take your ball of modeling clay, put it at the bottom of your bowl, and stick the candle right in the middle. So it looks like this. Grayson's gonna light it, but before he does, we're all gonna put our safety glasses on because we wanna make sure that we are safe. I'm ready. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So Grayson's gonna go ahead and light our candle, and then we're gonna get our mixture ready. Because I really like science because it shows another example of God's order to everything. And just like in our story today, we needed to ask Jesus into our hearts before he can save us. And that's the order that he has provided in his love for us. All right, Nora is going to do the next part. It says to mix 1 tablespoon of baking soda with 1/3 cup of vinegar. So I've got my baking soda here, and I'm gonna measure it out for her. And she's gonna put it into our beaker. Can you do that for me? Got it? So far, we just have a beaker with baking soda. Next, it says to add the vinegar. I'm going to add the vinegar. And you're gonna see the bubbles rise. When the bubbles start to subside, we're going to put out our candle. So I'll maybe hold it up a little bit. And our candle is out, but our mixture hasn't poured out into the bowl. Do you know what happened? At first, I didn't either. What happened is that the vinegar mixing with the baking soda provides what kind of reaction?
reaction?
Bubbly, or a chemical reaction. As part of the reaction, a gas called carbon dioxide is formed. Carbon dioxide is more dense. Do you guys know what dense means?
More full?
Full, heavy. Carbon dioxide is heavier than oxygen, the things that we breathe. So when we pour the carbon dioxide over the candle, it sunk into the bowl, putting out the candle. Fire can be scary, but in today's story, God protected his 3 friends. What were the friends' names?
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Yeah, but God's also still working in us today. He gives us knowledge to protect ourselves with inventions like fire extinguishers. That's what we use to put out the fire. Or fireproof fabrics, or sprinklers, and smoke alarms. It's important to be safe and protected, but it's good to know, just like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that God is always with us and watching over us to keep us safe. Have fun on your next adventure. We're going to include a bonus science experiment because we love to do science in our house, and this one fits perfectly with being in fire without Jesus. So for this experiment, since it wasn't listed in the packet, you need 2 balloons, just any balloons. These ones are about the same size. The difference is that one balloon has water inside and the other one doesn't. Like before we get started, we're going to put on our safety glasses.
We have to.
If you don't like loud noises, I want to warn you that this balloon is going to be loud. Are you ready? Grayson, I'll have you hold it. Can you hold it so the camera can see? Good. Nora, can you step back?
I don't put my ears.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego believed so much that God would save them, and he did. But this is an example of what happens to a balloon if it doesn't have Jesus. And where does Jesus live if you believe in him, friends?
In your heart.
In your heart. So the balloon's pink, kind of like your heart. But watch this. We're going to put the balloon into some fire and see what happens without Jesus.
You hold it. I don't want to light it. I don't want to light it.
So we're going to start the fire. And that balloon did not have Jesus. But what happens when we add Jesus in our heart and we add fire?
Mommy.
So go ahead. The balloon doesn't pop when it has Jesus. Have fun. Do the experiments at home. We'll see you soon.
Hey everyone, Pastor Sheldon here with Celebrate Church and the VBS, the Canton Community VBS online. As you're online during this week of VBS, there are these books that you can be using. So use these to do the work that's in there, the puzzles, the follow along. There's some coloring you can do. There's lots of fun stuff in there you can do. So go ahead and use those, and you can keep up with us as we're sharing the story. And so tonight I'm gonna start with, as we open up our VBS story time, I'm going to start with a story about 3 men of faith who knew that God's the truth about God's power and His love, and these were 3 men. Maybe you've heard of them or not, but their names were Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And so I'm going to ask you for some help with this, okay? So what I'm going to do is, as we go through this story, as I share this message with you, I just want, each time I say their names, I want you to make an action for them, Okay, so now these were men who had great love and great faith and great minds, and so as we go through here, each time I will gesture to you. I'll do one of these things to you, one or the other hand. Okay, so it might be the other hand, and so but we want to go with when I say Shadrach, I want you to cover your heart as they had great love for the Lord, and as I say Meshach, I want you to point to your mind. As they had strong, their minds were strong with the Lord. And then, as I say Abednego, I want you to go like this, and because they had great faith. Okay, so play with me: Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Okay, so as we move through this story, I'm just going to gesture, and then I'll say it along with you, and if you would follow through with the actions. So. These men had, with their strong hearts, their strong minds, and their strong faith, they were put to the test. And so what happened was there was a king named Nebuchadnezzar, okay, and he was the king of Babylon. And this was a long time ago. And in that land where he was at, in the Babylonian Empire, he had three men of great faith. These men's names were Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Okay, and so very good. You did well with that. And so the king, he made this towering gold statue of himself. And when a certain song was played, certain music was played, all the people were required. He commanded, he ordered that all the people would stop and bow really low to this tall gold statue. Yet there were three men who refused to do that. Their names were Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Now, when the king found out that these men were not bowing to his statue as they'd been ordered, it made him very angry. And so he told them again, he says, you must bow to the statue. And they said, no, we will not. And so the king, he made it known to the kingdom that they must be punished. These three men, known as Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So he had them thrown into a fiery furnace. And this wasn't just any fiery furnace, it was a very hot fiery furnace. And then he had them turn the heat all the way up. So the flames were as high as they could possibly go. And he had these three men thrown in there. And he said, how dare you disobey my orders? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And so, even though the fire was as intense as it was so fierce in that furnace, it should have burned them up, but it didn't. It didn't hurt them. In fact, actually, their faith, they were so filled with faith, and they had no woe. And by the way, woe in this case doesn't mean like on a horse, woe to stop, but woe as in sadness and sorrow, as most people would have had in this situation. Instead, they were filled with faith. And there was a messenger of God that came to join them in the fiery furnace. These three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, were men of great faith. So the king sees this, and he's amazed at what he sees, that these men are not burned up, and there's another man in with them, and he immediately has them promptly freed from the fiery furnace. And their trust in God had made his own heart grow. And so he ordered everyone in his kingdom to respect the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These three men knew of the truth of God's great power. These three men had faith in that power and let their faith show. And now, even now today, there's still a great example of the great love and faith we have in God. These three men named Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So, let's apply this to our lives, okay? Knights, we just experienced the story of one of God's great truths here. And so let's play a true-false game. Okay, I want to play a game with you. I'll say something about this story that we just shared, and I want you to tell me true or false. And go ahead, you could just shout it out. I know we're online. Just shout it out. Shock mom and dad. It'll be okay. So here we go. King Nebuchadnezzar had a large gold statue made to honor himself. True or false? True. Yes, absolutely it was true. He also gave a command whenever the special music was played, everyone had to dance the cha-cha. True or false? No, he didn't have them dance the cha-cha, did he? Of course that's false. He had everyone do what? Bow down. He made them all bow down to his gold statue. But three of God's people wouldn't bow down. Their names were Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. True or false? Absolutely, it's true. You got it. They were. So when King Nebuchadnezzar saw that they wouldn't bow down, even when he commanded them again, he was so mad that they wouldn't bow down, he threw them into a tub of cold spaghetti. True or false? Of course not. It wasn't spaghetti. It was a fiery furnace, right? Now that cold spaghetti might have been good to eat because sometimes we do that, right? But it was not the fiery furnace that he had them thrown into. But they didn't burn up. They didn't burn up because God sent a messenger to be there with them. True or false? Absolutely it's true, Knights. Great job, great job. So even though all the other people bowed down to the gold statue, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they did not bow down. They had one God that they bowed to, the only God they bowed to. And so, as we learned, they stayed true to their faith, right? They held true to what God had called them to. And so, we learn in church and in school, we learn about different things, that how important it is to not give in to negative peer pressure, don't we? And when we have those times when people are trying to pressure us into things, we got to stay true to God, right? But have there ever been times in your life when people were trying to pressure you into something? Have there ever been times in your life when they're pressuring you and you're not going along with what they were trying to get you to do? Could have gotten you in harm's way, could have hurt you? Have there ever been times like that? It certainly seemed like that the situation that they were put in, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, were certainly in one of those tough spots. Think of a time for you when you were around people and they were doing something that you just didn't feel was right. Did you feel the pressure to act the way that they did? Did you feel the pressure to do the things that they were doing? Talk the way they were talking, maybe? Just so that you wouldn't feel left out? The Bible doesn't promise us that if we follow God's way, nothing bad will ever happen. But I want you to hear this. The Bible does promise over and over again that God is with us through those tough times. No matter what, God is with us. God's love never leaves our side. That's a simple, beautiful truth that we can believe in. Let us rise. Let's rise up. Let's stand up together. Come on, go. Let's stand up. It's okay. Mom and Dad won't look at you funny. It's okay. That's one of the things you want to do, right? So stand up and let's repeat our castle call out for today. Let's repeat our castle call out for today. What is it? Armor up with truth, right? Armor up with truth. And so let's armor up with you. Do it one more time with me. And do it nice and loud and proud so Mom and Dad can hear you even in the other room. Armor up with truth, right? There we go. Huzzah, huzzah. Yes, and remember, you know what huzzah means, right? It means very good. And this message is very good. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Welcome to VBS. Tonight we're going to make our first craft and we're going to do a create your own night kit. So take out of your Ziploc bag a background and There's some parts of a knight, and they're all different colors, so don't worry about color. And then a shield and a little poof. So the first thing we're going to do is take the parts and take them off of the foam. So to get it in the right spot, let's probably start with the head. The back, little kids, you might need some help from mom or dad or sister or brother or aunt or uncle or whoever you can con into helping you. So we're going to start with the knight. We got the shield and then the body. So it's kind of a quick craft, not hard. I like the way they're making all this stuff with, you don't need glue anymore, it's awesome. Can get this off of here. I'll hold it up when I get it. I know you can't see me sticking things. I'll do my Vanna wave. You don't know who Vanna is, you're too young. Okay, oops, we kind of went off the bottom here. So you can take your cue from my mistakes and move the shield or the armor up a little bit so your feet aren't off of the bottom. Then there's a sword. And you'll be holding the sword. So the sword's off like that. It's kind of all one color. You know, what works really great to color things is Sharpie markers. If you want to take some Sharpie markers and draw some other colors or something on your knight, you can do that. We got a little poof for his helmet, feather, and then his shield. There you go. So, and then there's some little tabs. There's little slots right here. And little tabs right here. So bend the little tabs over. Then insert them in the slots. And there you have your evening craft. So, have fun.
Hey travelers, I hope you had a great time trying to find the belt of truth. We're going to sing some songs together today. I'm gonna sing, sing, sing. I'm gonna shout, shout, shout. I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna shout. Praise the Lord. When the gates are open wide, I'm gonna sing my Jesus side. I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna shout. Praise the Lord. I'm gonna clap, clap, clap. I'm gonna step, step, step. I'm gonna clap, I'm gonna step. Praise the Lord. When the gates are open wide, I'm gonna sing my Jesus side. I'm gonna clap, I'm gonna step. Praise the Lord. I'm gonna stop, stop, stop. I'm gonna jump, jump, jump. I'm gonna stop, I'm gonna jump. Praise the Lord. When the gates are open wide, I'm gonna sing my Jesus side. I'm gonna stop, I'm gonna jump. Praise the Lord. I'm gonna twirl, twirl, twirl. I'm gonna whirl, whirl, whirl. I'm gonna whirl, I'm gonna whirl. Praise the Lord. When the gates are open wide, I'm gonna sing my Jesus side. I'm gonna twirl, I'm gonna whirl. Praise the Lord. I'm gonna sing, sing, sing. I'm gonna shout, shout, shout. I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna shout. Praise the Lord. When the gates are open wide, I'm gonna sing my Jesus side. I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna shout. Praise the Lord. Woo! Woo! Welcome back, travelers. Did you find the belt of truth?
Yes, I need it because my pants keep falling down.
Silly. Dragons don't wear pants. Sometimes belt is a metaphor. The Apostle Paul wrote a letter to the Ephesians where he told about a belt of truth. We can't stand up for what we believe in if we don't have truth. Remember, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego stood for truth. They stayed true to God. Do you remember a castle call out? First you say armor up, then you say with truth. Let's do it again. Armor up
Armor up
with truth.
with truth.
Let's go find that belt of truth.
Our banner verse is Ephesians 6:10. Be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his power. Say it again.
Be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his power.
I am so glad I got to meet everyone, and I am excited about this week. Achoo!
Let's take this time to pray together before we travel home. Thank you, Lord. You are the one true God. Thank you that you give us strength to stand up for what is true. Help us to be strong for you. Amen. Let's sing our going home song tonight.